2 years later, Dave was doing well at his job and was much more stable and functional. Around this time, Ruby introduced him to Anne. 3, Anne was very reluctant to have a relationship with Dave because of his past, but she had strong feelings for him. Eventually, they began dating, but she was still ashamed of the person he used to be. So she told us they met over a dating app. Dave consented to this at the time. 4, as Dave became more comfortable with himself and their relationship became more serious, he told Anne she needed to be honest with us about his history. She agreed to tell us, but she didn't. She told Dave that she wrote a fake letter from my family about how we were really grateful for his honesty and accepted him. She told Ruby that my parents had reacted badly, so Ruby never brought it up with Dave or my family because she thought it was a very sensitive topic. When Dave proposed, Anne started freaking out about the wedding. Dave wanted people from his support group to be there, Ruby as his best woman, etc., which would expose the lies. But she still didn't want to tell us who Dave was or that Dave had lied to him, so she decided to continue lying instead of coming clean. So Anne pretended to be really upset that she couldn't have Ruby as her maid of honor so she could make the argument that she should be dropped from both wedding parties. She told Dave that she had explained her decision to Ruby and Ruby had taken issue with it to keep him happy. In reality, she knew that if Ruby knew she was meant to be best woman, it could easily get back to me and my mom and then raise questions from us about Ruby's relationship with Dave. So she didn't tell Ruby anything at all, and that's why Ruby was so confused about what happened and couldn't think of anything. Anne told Dave and all his friends from his support group that they shouldn't mention the addiction in speeches or even casual conversation because it was a sensitive subject for certain family members before the wedding. She told bridesmaids, significant others, many lies about Ruby. She told them that she had the habit of causing scenes, that she was going to try and sleep with the groomsmen, that one of them was an ex-boyfriend of hers that dumped her, that she would get way too drunk. Essentially, she painted Ruby as a disaster waiting to happen so the bridesmaids wouldn't like her, and also so that they could keep her away from certain people, specifically the ones that also knew Dave at the wedding. Anne also told the bridesmaids the only reason Ruby was invited is because I idolize her, so they wouldn't repeat any of the lies she told to me. After the wedding, Anne put on her enormous meltdown about the dress. The bridesmaids obviously didn't have a positive opinion on Ruby, so they were easy to convince that it was meant to be a genuine slight. My dad did what Anne apparently expected everyone to do by caving immediately because she was the bride. If me and my mom had done the same, Anne would have used it as an excuse to cut Ruby out of everyone's life. She tried to do the same thing with Dave's groomsmen by insisting to him they had said inappropriate things about the bridesmaids. The idea was to basically remove anybody that knew the truth about Dave from the general social circle so it wouldn't come up again. Dave smelled a rat. He asked exactly what the issue was with Ruby's dress and what exactly his friends had said. Anne panicked and accused him of not loving her, choosing his friends over her, etc. And it turned into a massive argument. Dave was mad and suspicious, so he started calling people, trying to figure out what happened. A couple of bridesmaids said that Anne was telling the truth about the groomsmen. She asked and pressured them to, but most were kind of weirded out by their request, and I think they successfully got that across to Dave. He called me to ask if I knew what was going on. Anne told Dave I was just like him, caring about Ruby more than her, and also that I wasn't there when it happened. But the timing of the story didn't match up, so Dave called me anyway. That was the weird phone call. At this point, she knew she was spouting BS, so he asked her up front what was going on. She broke down and told Dave everything. He was fuming. He texted us all to let us know about his past and then basically kicked Anne out. She came to us where she then had to explain again everything. Anne is absolutely shaken. I've never considered her capable of this kind of deception and manipulation, and I don't think she's ever done something like this before. Contrary to what some commenters seem to believe, I don't hate my sister. I feel sorry for her even though I'm really hurt by what she did because she feels so guilty and absolutely miserable because she's worried that things will never be worked out with Dave. She's gone to bed now very upset because our mom won't even look at her. She's fuming that Anne would deceive and hurt her and so many other people like this. I do understand where she's coming from. My dad is also very shocked and hurt. Anne texted Ruby. She sent her a message explaining and apologizing, but obviously Ruby is really angry and upset. She just told her that she couldn't speak to her right now, but maybe she'd call her in the morning once they both have a chance to calm down. Dave is probably the most hurt out of everyone, and I understand why. He wouldn't speak to Anne, but he did tell me that he really thought he had our acceptance, and that the letter she had written to him had been his most treasured possession ever since he received it, and to find out it was false was absolutely crushing. I told him we did accept him for who he was and nobody blamed him, but I didn't think it helped much. He has asked for distance from our family, and I understand why. I'm not sure he'll be willing to speak to Anne again, or if he wants to be her husband after this. I wouldn't blame him if he goes on to find someone else. Thanks, Reddit. It turned out everyone was way off base, although I don't think anyone could have predicted this.